I mean, regular banana bread is good and all, but double chocolate banana bread? Yes, please. Hi bakers, welcome back to my home kitchen. Today I'm helping you solve one of those age-old questions, what to do with those sad and sorry bananas that are rotting on your kitchen counter. Sometimes I like to make banana pancakes or banana muffins, but today we are making an extra special treat. We're making a dark chocolate banana bread. So our brown butter is all done. What a beauty! Amazing. Just like magic, you guys. This chocolate banana bread is rich and delicious. It stays moist for days, and it's filled with lots of chocolate flavor from both cocoa powder and chocolate chips, and it has tons of delicious banana flavor. Everyone in the family will love this banana bread. It's easy to make on the weekdays or perfect for the weekends. Okay, let's talk about the equipment and ingredients that you need to make this banana bread. You'll just need a large bowl and a whisk. There's no mixer required. And then you're gonna wanna have a parchment-lined 9 by 5 inch baking pan, like so. For the ingredients, we have our lineup right over here. So we're gonna be using all-purpose flour. We have Dutch processed cocoa powder, melted butter, 2 eggs, sugar, we have baking powder and baking soda, salt, vanilla, we have a little bit of Greek yogurt. If you don't have Greek yogurt, feel free to use sour cream. And then of course we have our 2 ripe bananas. As far as the bananas go, you wanna have bananas that are at least as ripe as these are. These could probably use a couple of extra days on the countertop, but they're gonna be just fine. They're really soft and they're gonna be sweet enough for our banana bread today. Okay, so we're gonna start by mashing up our bananas. So I'm just gonna go ahead and peel these. Like I said, these are nice, really ripe bananas. The riper, the better. If they're really brown and like almost soggy and spotted with freckles, that's even better. They're gonna be nice and sweet in your banana bread. So we've got those peeled, and I'm just gonna take a fork, and we're just gonna go ahead and mash that right up, getting it nice and mushy. And doing this with a fork is just perfect. No need to break out a mixer of any kind. Just gonna mash that second banana, getting it nice and squishy. Don't worry about any brown spots on your banana, it's totally fine. You wanna get this to be really, really gooey and mushy. You don't wanna have any large chunks of banana in our banana bread, or at least I don't like to. If you like your bread to be chunky, feel free to mash your banana a little bit less, but I like it to be nice and smooth with lots of banana flavor. And we're gonna go ahead and add our melted butter to the bowl. So this is just 1 stick of melted butter. I'm gonna grab a spatula, make sure we get all of that into the bowl. I melt the butter and then usually let it cool for about 10 minutes, just so it's not piping hot. We don't want to curdle those eggs when we add them. Okay, so there's our melted butter. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our granulated sugar to the bowl. Whoop. All in one fell swoop. There we go. And we're just gonna whisk this together. So I'm gonna whisk the butter and the sugar together for about 2 minutes. And what we're looking for is kind of just get that sugar dissolved into the butter so it's not super grainy. And you're gonna wanna have everything be nice and light, fluffy, kind of pale. Okay, so we're just whisking that butter, melted butter and sugar together. And it's hard to see on camera, but the sugar is getting a little bit less grainy. So it's really combining in there nicely with that butter. And because we're using melted butter for this recipe, it makes it really quick to make. You don't have to wait for your butter to come to room temperature. You can just melt it on the stove top or in the microwave, and then just let it sit out for about 10 minutes, like I said, so it cools off just a little bit. Okay, this is looking great. Okay, so you've got this nice butter sugar mixture. That's perfect. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add our eggs right into the bowl. I'm actually gonna crack them into a separate bowl just to make sure we don't get any of that shell. And I'm gonna stir 1 egg at a time into our mixture. Oh, those are some bright yolks. Super pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go in with our second, oh, see there's a little bit of eggshell in there, which we don't want. Okay, and then there's our second egg going in. Give that a stir. Perfect. Just a quick stir to make sure you get all of that yolk combined nicely. Nice. And then we're going to go ahead and add our vanilla. So I've got 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract here, right into the bowl. Give that a quick stir. And now it's time to add our mashed bananas. So we're just going to take this banana that we mashed up earlier, and we're going to slide it right into the bowl. Make sure to get every last bit of that yummy banana. Perfect. And if you have smaller bananas or bigger bananas, you basically need about 1.5 cups of banana, mashed banana. So if you want to measure it out, you can. I had about 2, I would say, medium bananas to use up. Okay, oh my gosh, this smells so good already. It smells like banana bread. Now we're gonna get to the fun chocolate part in just a second. Okay, so now we've got our dry ingredients. So I'm gonna set this aside for just a second, and we'll talk about our dry ingredients. So we have our all-purpose flour, and then we have Dutch processed cocoa powder, which is gonna add a lot of really nice chocolate flavor. And we'll add our chocolate chips in a little bit. But in the meantime, we have our baking soda and baking powder and a little bit of salt. So I'm just gonna grab a little whisk. Let's see, I thought I had a little whisk. There we go, little whisk. And of course I'm using a bowl that's too small, but that's how I roll. So we're just gonna whisk this together just to kind of get those leaveners incorporated into our flour. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pull my wet ingredients back over. We're gonna alternate our dry ingredients along with our Greek yogurt. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of flour, and I'm gonna stir in a little bit of our Dutch processed cocoa powder. This has been sifted before measuring. So make sure to sift your cocoa powder and then measure the amount that you need for the recipe. So we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of that in, and we're gonna give that a slow whisk to make sure that none of that cocoa powder comes flying out of the bowl. It can be a little bit messy, so I do recommend using a large bowl while you're mixing your batter. Okay, so we've got that just slightly incorporated. You don't need to stir it all together. And then we're gonna go ahead and add some of this Greek yogurt. Like I said, if you don't have Greek yogurt on hand, you can use sour cream. Just make sure that you are using a full fat version of whichever ingredient you use. You don't want to use a light sour cream or a light yogurt. Okay, so we're just gonna stir that together a tiny bit. You can still see a few streaks of that Greek yogurt in there. And then we're gonna go back to our flour, sprinkle a little bit more in. Actually, we'll just throw all of it in. And we're gonna finish off the cocoa powder. Set those aside. And again, gently stirring, trying to keep everything in the bowl. Okay, this is, oh my gosh, now it smells really chocolatey and like banana. I cannot wait to pull this fresh banana bread from the oven. Okay, just barely mixed. Again, a few streaks of flour sitting in the bowl. And we're gonna go in with the last of our Greek yogurt. Making sure you get all of it in there. And we're gonna very gently stir this together. We do not want to overmix the batter because then you're going to get like a dense crumb on your cake, and you want it to be light and fluffy, really moist. So just barely stirring that together. If there's a little bit of flour or a little bit of Greek yogurt still showing, totally fine. Just don't overmix. So we're going to get rid of this whisk and we're going to switch to a spatula. Okay, so I have my handy dandy spatula here, and we are gonna use it to stir in our chocolate chips. So this is about 1 cup of chocolate chips. I'm going to kind of eyeball it for now and toss in about 3/4 of a cup of these chocolate chips. These are semi-sweet chocolate chips. And I'm gonna reserve just a little bit for the top of the cake. And then you'll take your spatula and give it a good stir. Okay, so we're just stirring those chocolate chips in. Again, being really gentle, making sure that you're not over mixing. This is a good time though to use that spatula to get to the bottom of the bowl and make sure you don't have any bits of flour still stuck at the bottom or any streaks of yogurt. That will make sure that your cake bakes up nice and evenly in the oven. Okay, so this is done. It looks delicious and it smells even better. So we're gonna go ahead and transfer this now to our 9x5-inch loaf pan and get it in the oven. Okay, our batter is ready, and we're gonna pull in our 9x5-inch loaf pan, which we have lined with parchment paper. I like to add these little binder clips onto the sides of the pan. It helps keep the parchment paper from blowing on top of the cake while it's in the oven. Not totally necessary, but optional, and it really helps your cakes turn out great. So we've got this pan ready to go, and I'm just going to transfer this batter right into the pan. Look at that deliciousness, so chocolatey. Okay, so it's all the batter is in the pan now, and we're just gonna gently level the top with the spatula. That's perfect. You don't need to handle it too much. And now we're gonna go ahead and add these reserved chocolate chips that we have to the top of the cake. So we're just gonna sprinkle those over, spreading them out across the top. This gives your cake a delicious, extra chocolatey, super moist flavor after it bakes. You can use milk chocolate chips here if you want. Instead of semi-sweet, you could use mini chocolate chips, whatever you like. You could even use peanut butter chocolate chips for a peanut butter banana chocolate bread. That would be so good. Okay, our chocolate banana bread is ready to go in the oven. We're gonna bake it at 350 degrees for about 50 minutes. Okay, so our banana bread is baking up perfectly, but I don't want it to get too dark on the top. So I'm gonna take a piece of aluminum foil and we're just gonna tent the top of the pan very loosely. So you really just wanna kind of make this little loose aluminum top right over the top, and then we're gonna put it back in the oven for about 8 to 10 more minutes. Okay, bye. Okay, our banana bread is done and it smells amazing. It smells like a bakery in my kitchen and I am not mad about it. I can't wait to slice into it. But we do need to wait for it to cool in the pan for about 30 to 45 minutes and then maybe another 30 minutes or so before we slice into it. I can't wait. Okay, our chocolate banana bread has cooled down a bit in the pan and we're gonna go ahead and take it out. So we'll just remove the little binder clips from the sides of the pan. And then we're gonna use this parchment paper overhang to carefully pull the cake out of the pan, like so. And we'll set it right down on that marble cutting board. And as you can see, this cake is so delicious looking. It has a beautiful domed top, lots of melty chocolate chips in the center of the cake. It's a rich, dark, moist chocolate brown, and it is like a slice of heaven. This is my dream breakfast. I love this banana bread in the morning with a cup of coffee or a latte, and it's equally delicious at nighttime with a glass of cold milk. Okay, our banana bread is nice and cool, and it's time to slice into it. This is the moment I have been waiting for all morning. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just give this a little slice at the end to take the end of our loaf off. And as you can see, we have this nice and delicious, really moist cake. It has a nice tight crumb on it, and it is so good. I can smell the chocolate and the banana, which, by the way, is one of the best combinations ever. I think I love it even more than peanut butter and chocolate. As you can see, it's filled with chocolate. There are chocolate chips in every bite and even more on the top, and the cocoa powder gives it a really rich chocolate flavor. And it smells like bananas. So good. I have no words. It's so good. This is the only recipe you need for those sad, sorry bananas that are rotting on your kitchen counter. It's so delicious. You can whip up the batter in about 10 minutes, bake it off in about 45 to 50 minutes, and you'll have this delicious chocolatey banana bread in about an hour. Everyone will love this banana bread. You will never make another banana bread again, I promise. Give this recipe a try. Don't forget to pour yourself a glass of milk and enjoy.